Welcome to See You at the Table, where stories meet grace. Here we gather, not just to speak, but to listen. If you want to witness how God brings people together from all around the world through powerful testimonies, tune in and see you at the table. Here's today's host. What's up, guys? Welcome back to See You at the Table. Today we have special guest Big O, Owen Tipton.
Big O!
What's up? Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Well, welcome to the table, Owen. We're going to start out with our usual question of how did you get to Campbellsville University?
Well, gosh, where do I start? So I started playing drums when I was 10, and I joined band when I got into middle school, and I knew that I wanted to pursue like a music education or like study music and, better my craft. And so I was looking for places to go and was praying really hard about it. And then I got a message from Dr. Floyd, who's the percussion professor here. And we were talking, and he was like, you should come audition. And so I did. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's how I ended up here. I took an audition and somehow made it here. So
yeah,
here I am.
That's awesome. So you actually you have a call to ministry, right? You've been working in ministry for quite some time. When did you feel that call to ministry, or were you kind of thrown into it?
So I grew up in a family where ministry was always the center point of our lives. My dad has always been in evangelism or pastoring a church. He's always been preaching, traveling to preaching, doing revivals. And so I feel like that it's always sort of been a big part of my life. And especially when I was 10 and was starting to learn music, we were missionaries. We moved to Brazil.
Say something in Portuguese.
Oi, tudo bem? Meu nome é Owen.
That's your name? My name is Owen.
See.
You said hello?
Yes, I did.
I don't know what he said.
Bom
He could have.
Bom dia.
Yeah. Obrigado.
De nada.
Okay. Is that your welcome?
Yes, that's your welcome.
I know English. That's it.
All right. Y'all ended up in Brazil. We had to make sure that was true.
Right, that was true.
Prove it.
So in Brazil, we were there for 3 years, and we're trying to plant a church.
Wow.
And so that's when things really started to pick up for me, like ministry-wise, because I was learning music and trying to play in church and, be a part of the music ministry, which is super important to me now, here at CU especially, because, I'm pretty involved with the Vine, and I play at chapel quite a bit here and do other ministry-related things. I'm going to plug Central Kid.
I was getting ready to ask you
he's
about
wearing
that.
a shirt and a hat.
Tell them what you did this summer.
So I was on a travel team for a Central Kid band, and we went to probably, I'd say 4 or 5 different states and played for probably 1,000+ kids this summer.
Wow.
Yeah. What a ministry.
It was awesome. It was great. And just to see the Lord work in the lives of children and, it was just great. It was just a great experience for me and something that I'll always cherish. This is my second year doing it, so it was awesome.
Yeah, that's
awesome
really
for
cool.
sure.
Pretty cool.
What? Sorry, I thought you were about to ask a question. That's why I was waiting for a
you
second.
go.
But one thing that I love about Owen is, out of many things, man, it's just really interesting to see your capability with so many instruments. Real quick, go through the list of things you can play.
Oh gosh. Well, I attempt to play most things. So, but my main instrument is percussion. I'm a percussionist. I can play drum set, marimba, vibes, anything
Anything you can hit with a stick.
I could probably play.
Okay.
And I play piano.
Yeah.
So, I started playing piano when I was 13. I'm self-taught. So,
cool.
I taught myself. So, I had a lesson one time in the 8th grade, and after that I was like, it's not for me, so just teach myself. And so I just sat at my old church piano like every day, and while my dad was there doing office work, and would just play until something made sense, and it finally just clicked for me. So
what's really cool, and you said I play piano, but you can play piano and you can also be free in the instrument. Like, and that's where I mean, like, a person can just kind of pick up and do what they need to do. You're one of those guys, like one of those students. When I watch you guys at the Vine or whatever it is, you're not trapped to one thing. You obviously have a freedom within it, which is, man, that's a talent and a gift, and it's just really cool to watch that. But yeah, I had to mention that. I've seen you play so many different things.
Yeah, I try not to advertise that I play bass guitar because people will ask me, and
I didn't know that.
I'm not super good at it. I'm learning right now, but yeah, I think music is such a powerful thing, especially when it comes to our faith. For me, music moves my soul in a way that almost nothing else does, other than reading the Bible. I feel like that God uses music to communicate with me in a way when I'm going through a hard time or struggling with something or just praying for, guidance or clarity. God uses that.
Very expressive moment for us too. Like, I feel like music has the ability to express some things words don't. Like, I know there are lyrics involved in music, obviously, which are really powerful, but there is something within that you can't quite put your finger on or even articulate with a word that's happening. I think sometimes with me anyway, with music. I just think the Holy Spirit really uses it in powerful ways. And I mean, I'll wake up with a song in my head at times, and I'll be like, I'm pretty sure that's the Lord. That's not me. And I love that. It's just an amazing thing.
Yeah. The Lord definitely speaks to us through song. I will say that. Even just today in the calf, like, there's always this one song that I feel like God will randomly pull out to like say something to me.
What is that song?
Ooh, okay. It is Oceans by Hillsong.
Oh, old school.
Which, everyone knows it. Classic. It's weird, like, that song, even when I was kind of strayed away from faith, it was a song I still listened to. And I just always really appreciate it. It's just always really hit for me. And it randomly came on at the calf today, and I've been stressed out lately. Yeah. And so I was sitting there, literally on my phone, about to text someone saying I was stressed out, and it came on Tiger Radio. And I was like,
there you go, WLCU, baby.
WLCU.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that song because that song was a really big part of when I was a missionary. That song really encouraged me a lot. It talking about trusting God, Spirit lead me where my trust is without borders. Help me to walk upon the waters wherever you call me. It was discouraging at first because you're moving to a new country, you have no friends, and the people who are around you can't even talk to them. You don't speak Portuguese. They don't understand you, and some of them spoke English to their credit, but it was hard. So I think in those moments, it was important for me to remember that there's a God who's way bigger than my imagination or my situation, and so. I love that song. So.
Yeah, it's so good.
I think it speaks to a lot of people and a lot of the human experience and what we go through.
Yeah. Speaking of you moving to Brazil, so were you guys as the kids of the family, were you kind of included in that decision, or was it like we're gonna move to Brazil?
So
Portuguese.
The way I found out, and it was so funny. I'm from Pulaski County originally. I went to Nancy Elementary.
Yeah, we're from the same place.
Right.
Yep.
So up till 5th grade, I came in from school one day, and my dad, you can tell when something on his mind because it's all over his face. He was sitting at the counter. He was just pondering, thinking about something. And I was probably, I think I was 10, 10 or 9. No, I was probably 9 because we had to do deputation. He just looked at me. He was like, so you want to move to Brazil? And I was like, it's very funny, Dad. Because he had been on a couple of mission trips before, sort of getting things ready to go down there, but didn't exactly tell us what was going on. It was something that him and my mom communicated about, but not really to the kids because he didn't want to freak us out.
Yeah.
But, I think it still sort of freaked us out a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially dropping it on us like that. But it wasn't something that I had a choice in. And because of that, it was really hard for me because I felt like that not only my dad was taking me from my home, but God was taking me from my home, and that's something I had to overcome.
Yeah.
In my walk with Christ, is that God was not doing this to to hurt me or to.
He wasn't punishing you.
He wasn't punishing me. This was to help me to grow. And without Brazil, I wouldn't be the person I am today. So.
Yeah.
What is one way that experience formed you? You know, it's obviously huge in how God used that, but if you're going to articulate something like that.
The way that's biggest for me is that, honestly, I mean, like it really, Brazil's the reason I gave my life to Christ. Like I was not saved in Brazil. And I talked about earlier wanting to be a part of music ministry and playing, but it was more so for me. And I was agnostic actually in Brazil.
Explain to everybody what agnosticism is real quick.
So agnosticism is sort of like it's like being on the fence. Yeah. It's like you believe that there is a higher power, but you don't necessarily know what that is. And for me, growing up in a very Christian household, I was always sort of expected to believe a certain way and never given the chance to believe it for myself. And so when we moved to Brazil, I was really angry at God. I was like, why are you doing this to me? And I was really angry at my dad. I was like, why are you doing this to me? You've taken everything from me that I loved and my family, and you've separated me across a huge body of water, and I can't even confide in people because I can't understand what they're saying.
Yep.
And the only person that I can talk to is the person I'm mad at.
Oh.
Wow.
So I was lonely.
It was so lonely, and God gave me friends at some point in that space of time, but it was so hard for me. And because of Brazil, after we moved back, I started to reflect on what God was doing in my life at that time, how He had His hand on our life. The times where we could have been robbed, or the times that He protected us from, violence in the streets, or the times that He saved us from things that we didn't even see coming, the times that He revealed to us the reason for being there and the reason for coming back, and being able to look back and see that God's hand was on my family and on my life. That was so important to me, and really led me to salvation. I didn't trust God for a long time, because I didn't think that someone who could take me from everything that I loved was trustworthy. I mean, ripping me from my home, moving me to this place, and expecting me just to live and to thrive. Yeah. It's not easy, and I think that I was bitter because of that expectation, not only from my family, but from the Lord too, I suppose.
Wow. Yeah. That's powerful stuff. Wow. Yeah. Holland, you got anything else? I'll ask him the last question, but do you have anything else that we want to bug on about?
I think it's a lot of interesting stuff, though. I didn't know all of that. But it is kind of weird how small our world is. 'Cause it's crazy that we would have been in the same school system as elementary schoolers, and you also worked in Somerset when I was living there, but then we never met until we got to Campbellsville, and then we were in the same music studio and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
It's pretty wild.
The world is definitely really small, and people don't realize that back home in Casey County, people won't drive 20 minutes to go and be a part of a church function, but when we lived in Brazil and we would come home for a holiday, we would have to get on a 9-hour plane ride and then drive all the way from Georgia back to Kentucky just to see our family. Yeah. So the world is small when you have a wider view of it,
Yeah. Yeah, and when you just think of God's perspective of us in the world and the way He weaves all this together is just insane. I love it.
Yeah. I've been thinking lately, I've been saying this joke where I'm we're just God's Sims. Have you ever played The Sims? God's just playing The Sims.
I think He loves us. I think it's a little different than that. But
I know.
There's that thing of love in there. But, man, Owen, thanks so much. We always love to ask the question because I think and I believe my experience around the table when anybody comes to our house or whatever, not only is it a place where we get to meet and greet and hang out, but it's a chance to learn from one another. Mm-hmm. And God has really given all of us something to bring to the table. And there's so many things I could pick out even in your story today that are so impactful and can mean so much. But if you're going to leave a table tip for us today as we kind of close out, something for us to chew on, think on, or be challenged by, encouraged by, man, what would you share?
My dad always used to say when I was struggling with something, and he would notice that, he would always ask me, "How do you eat the elephant in the room?"
I know where you're going with this.
And it's such a silly question because you're like, well, there's no elephant, but it's a hypothetical, you know, like how do you eat the elephant in the room? And it's one bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
Right. So whatever you have going on today or whatever you have going on in your life right now, you cannot take that all on at once. You cannot control that situation. You know, how do you tackle these things that are going on in your life? And like, for example, for me in Brazil, how do I conquer every day? How do I go through the challenges of learning this language? How do I meet new people, communicate one step at a time?
Mm-hmm.
How do I get through college when I'm worried about an exam or I have a paper coming up or I have to play this piece in my lessons? One step at a time. And I think that oftentimes that we think that we're bigger than that.
Yeah.
You know, we're bigger than the elephant in the room, but you know, realistically it's so much easier if we trust God and just take every day one step at a time.
Yeah.
You know, because you can't do any more than that.
And he's got the elephant, you know.
Right.
He's got that's just wild. I love that one. I knew where you were going with that, one bite at a time, but that's really all the Lord is ever asking of us is one step, like one step of faith, one step of obedience, one step of trust at a moment. And so, man, Owen, thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, I love having you. Can you close us out in Portuguese? What would be like a peace out in Portuguese?
What would be a good phrase? I don't know. I'm just gonna say ciao.
Ciao.
Beleza.
Till
You know
next
beleza?
time. What does that mean?
Till next time.
Yeah. What did you just say though?
Oh, beleza. It's like peace or like
Peace.
yeah, it's like peace.
All right.
It's like a server thing.
Peace.
Beleza.
Beleza. All right, man. Well, ciao. Till next time.
Ciao. Thanks,
Ciao.
guys.
This podcast is brought to you by Campus Ministry at Campbellsville University, where faith, testimony, and dialogue come together. Stay connected, stay inspired, and we'll see you at the table next time.